grab Kamani out. We're going to tack her up, and I'm going to be teaching her how to carry a flag. So you guys have seen me do tarp work with her, flag work with her. I had like a old football team flag that I used probably last year. I've done the little miniature dollar store flags. Well, that was Kamani. So yeah, I have an American flag and a flag boot that goes on my saddle. So I'm going to tack her up. I'm going to do a couple things on the ground and see how she does. And then I'm going to hop on in the round pen if everything's going well and get on and maybe do a few laps each way, walk, trot, canter each way, and see how she does carrying a flag. Those of you that have been following for a while know that Kamani's suspicious of anything leather and new. So she spotted the boot flag, or boot for the flag, and kind of parked out and got a little hesitant to come near me. We probably spent 15 minutes alone on desensitizing to this because you'll see here in a second, she starts to just get a little bit parked out and uncomfortable. And so we have to work through this. If we can't even get her near this, there's no way I'm going to get a flag on her, so you can see just how parked out she is. So I'm just working on getting her closer. She eventually relaxed and let me get it on. It was a lot of her running around just like you would see a horse with a tarp do for the very first time. So I didn't leave all that in because that would have been 15 minutes of her just, you know, running away and then stopping and getting her break and smelling it and then going to the other side and the same thing. So let's cut to the more interesting stuff. However, before we jump that far ahead, I did lunge her, walk, trot, canter both directions to let her get used to that boot smacking her on the side, because obviously that sticks out on the side of the stirrup, so she's going to feel tapping where she normally wouldn't. So we did do that step because I am very cautious with my horses. I'd rather take an extra step than skip a step and something happen. Also, because I've carried a flag before, I know that the super heavy flags can be a little hard to control and sometimes their stirrup will flop around. So I did tie the whip to the stirrup and pull on it just to, again, make sure she's going to be okay with everything. Alright, first thing first, let's start off with advance and retreat, just basics, anything new that you would do. So notice that I have the flag rolled up as small as possible and ask her to come to me to smell it. And I still have the lead line loose, so I'm not forcing her to be right there. She can back up if she wants. Kind of rub it on her a little bit, and then I'll slowly start to unravel it and get a little bit louder with it. You see right there, she jumped, and I just asked her to kind of stay here, not be bracy. She did come back and stay. I probably could have given her a release right there, but I did go for a couple seconds and then give her a release, but looking at this now, I could have released a little bit sooner. We all learn, and that's why I like doing these videos. So yeah, that's when I realized the flag wasn't on the pole, so let me fix that. Not exactly sure where my train of thought went. I guess I forgot to roll it back up. This was filmed this summer, so can't remember everything I did. Don't know where my train of thought went from slowly releasing it to, oh, I got it on, so let's just leave it out. But I did go slow. I am waving it to her, but I'm not waving it extremely fast or anything like that. I'm keeping a rhythm to it, and when she jumps, I'm just kind of slowly letting it fall on her and taking it away instead of like jerking it back so that she can kind of get used to it. So let's watch this. I actually really like this. I am giving her a release and trying to fix the flag, and I barely tugged on the lead rope on accident there, but she does willingly come forward, so in my opinion, that's a good sign. She didn't retreat or pull back or anything like that, so happy with that. So I really liked this. The wind is blowing the flag nice and slow, so I thought that'd be a good opportunity to try to approach her on the other side with it. And you can see she moves away a little bit, but she's not running or anything like that. I just love on her with it very quietly, not obnoxious and loud. And when I step back, the line's really loose, and I give just a tiny little pull, and she very willingly comes off that pressure and approaches. So now both sides have been touched all over, so now we're going to go over her head and around her face, because obviously with carrying the flag, it's bound to hit them in the head. So I'm just going for it. and she's flinching a little bit here and there, throwing her head up a tiny bit, but she's not running backwards or coming at me or, anything really nasty. So we move on to the next step. So since when we're moving under saddle, this flag's going to be moving around her a lot, especially if I lose control of it or drop it, something happens. So that's what that was. I was just kind of waving it around at the standstill, and then I had her just face me and kind of waved it by her face and went a little bit faster with it. Got her used to that. Kind of randomly waved it at the side, just seeing if there's any moment where she's like, oh my gosh, I can't handle this. I need to run away. So she thankfully didn't show any signs of that. She took a step here and there, but that was it. So same thing here, just kind of waving it and letting it land wherever. She just takes a couple of side steps right there, but then you can see she cocks her leg and she's just like, okay, I can handle that. At this point, I felt pretty confident to let's actually get moving and kind of get out of the baby steps. I probably did way too many, but I don't care. I set her up for success, and that's what we got, so that's all that matters. So I started off just by asking her to lunge at a walk and kind of holding it far away, asking her to change direction. So I'm going to ask her to change direction. I'm going to put the flag closest to her, and I'm going to ask her to go forward. And I'm just going to kind of follow and have the flag move beside her. I'm going to raise it up high where it would be if I was holding it. So after we did that step, I officially put it on and sent her out just a few steps and had her disengage just to get her kind of thinking on me and giving her something to focus on. Alright, I guess this is the only way to really try because the wind's not cooperating. I still have a hold of her in case she goes to panic. I can try and shut her down. And also, I bought a cheap flag on purpose. Oh, good. So right there you could kind of see her tense up a little bit. But she controlled herself, calmed herself down. So I'm going to let her stop and think about that for a second. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. Good. Whoa. Good job. Good job. Whoa. Whoa. Good. Thank you. Okay, we did some more trotting, just to make sure she was good. Made her do some changes of directions while trotting. Things like that, just to see how she would do. Now the canter. And she's probably not going to canter online with one hand. So I tightened up her halter in case she goes to buck or something. She's not going to get a leg caught in her halter. She's waiting for her cue. And I'm just going to hope it all goes well. We're going to try for the canter now. But first I'm going to let her kind of walk without me for a little bit and see how she does without me. Do some walk and trot out there first and see how she does before I push her straight into a canter. Make her change direction. Good girl. Oh, better stop and think about that. I've given her a little bit of a rest. She's not kicking at it or bucking or doing anything nasty. I think it's still going to take a few sessions to get her confident with it. But now comes the part where the rider comes involved. She's doing really good. So I'm going to put you guys up on the fence and we're going to try it with the rider. Okay, error on my fault. I did not think about this, but I went to step on with the flag in my hand and she decided that was scary. Perfectly fine. She's not blowing up big. She's just letting me know, whoa, wait a minute. We haven't done this. What is this new step? So I stuck with her for a little bit and cut all that out because it was just some more basic desensitizing. And then I decided, okay, I'm just going to desensitize both sides. I'm going to put the flag in the boot on this side, and then I'm going to walk around and hold the flag and then climb on. So that's another step that we'll work on another day. I like right here how it's touching her butt and she could care less. She was just a little concerned as to why I was approaching her with it and trying to step up at the same time. Perfectly fine. But I wanted to leave that part in just to show you guys, you know, it wasn't just simple and easy. So here I'm just going to hold the flag to the saddle horn and climb on it. She completely exceeded my expectations. I did not expect the first session to be able to get on her. I think this was like a 45-minute session, but that also includes us standing still for like 10 minutes and taking breaks and setting up the camera and moving camera angles and everything like that. So probably about 30 minutes with breaks. And here I'm just kind of waving around the flag a lot just to kind of get her used to that movement, because there is going to be some resistance in my arm when we start picking up our speed, and that means I'm gonna probably throw my body off a little bit since I had my horse Fraser, since I carried a flag. So I just wanted her to kind of feel how I was going to be moving and sitting, just again taking some extra steps. So we walked around for a while and then we moved up into faster gaits and went both directions. I love this. There's a flag and yet she's still paying so much attention to me that I sit down and she stops. I loved that so much. So now going the other way so she can see the flag out of the other eye, kind of over-exaggerating the movement just to be on the safe side. And we did walk, trot, canter this way, as you guys will get to see here. And we had so much fun, or I had so much fun, that after this we actually went on a little trail ride around where I live with the flag, because she was doing so well. So I would say that was like a great first day of flag introduction, and I didn't expect to go that far in that first day. Oh. She's like fine with it and then jumpy, and then fine with it and then jumpy. So I think it'll take a while for her to be like, oh, this is normal. Yeah, we're gonna end that there. That's why I got a cheap flag on purpose. It's really lightweight, and if something were to happen and it were to get busted, I can go get another one without spending a lot of money on the big heavy ones that they use in parades. That's still a flag she can get used to carrying though. Yeah, I think she did fairly well. I honestly didn't think I'd be able to get on her today with how jumpy she was being the first few minutes she's seen it, and with how she reacted to the flag boot. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video.